Well, good morning. We're back. We're back. Yesterday I got all excited. That was so funny, wasn't it? We was talking about him sharing his dream with all the guys, and they weren't liking it. Well, there's still more ahead. Hi, I'm Jim Sunderwirth. I'm coming to you from my swing here at the house, and I just enjoy anticipating just being able to share. I'm learning a lot. I hope you learn a few things once in a while during these things. Hey, listen, we're talking about we're talking about Jacob now, and the sons, the 12 tribes of Israel. Starting with Reuben and going all the way to Dan. But anyway, the person we're really talking about right now is Joseph. And we pointed out that the first 2,000 years or so, the first part, about 3/4 of Genesis, we're talking about, Abraham, Isaac, creation and all that, and then Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and then now, starting at 37, through 50, they're talking about one man, and we talked about it before, and his name is Joseph. Now, that's a lot of time for one guy, but let me tell you something, it's good, because Joseph really is kind of a type of Jesus. And it's an amazing thing, because he was such a good kid. I mean, he was, I don't know where he came from. There wasn't hardly one that didn't get in some kind of trouble. I mean, even Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, I mean, they had their lives, and they were really, as we've talked before, dysfunctional. And even Jacob's other sons were. But Joseph, wow, something different about it. Anyway, well, he was favorite of, as we talked about, of Jacob, and he had this royal robe, that you can see anywhere, and we talked about that yesterday. Well, today, what I want to talk to you about is the fact that he was very obedient to his father. I mean, he was very obedient. He loved his family. He loved his, and I think he was a little naive, in a sense, because he was pretty well protected by his dad. I mean, his dad loved him with all of his heart. Anyway, so we're going to start in chapter 37, and we're going to start at verse 12, when it says, then his brothers went to feed their flocks in Shechem. Now, what was happening was, shepherds, they have to go with the grass. They have to go with where it's good to graze. And so, they a lot of times have to travel a lot of miles. Well, Shechem was 25 miles from Hebron, where they were, in the El Bethel, where he called El Bethel, or the house of God, in that area of Canaan. Well, they went all the way back to Shechem to feed their flock. And Israel, who is Jacob, it says this in verse 13, Israel said to Joseph, "Are not your brothers feeding the flocks in Shechem? Come, I will send you to them." So he said, here he is, this is Joseph, here am I. Now he's by himself. Now he hadn't gone much. He really didn't get away from the house too much, because, really, the other guys, and he was so respected and loved by his father that these people didn't even want him around. The other brothers didn't even want him around. So he said, here am I. And then he said to them, please go and see if it's well with your brothers and well with the flock, and bring back word to me. So he sent him out of the valley of Hebron, which is in the Israel area there, and he went to Shechem. Now, a certain man found him. Can you imagine? Here's a kid out. Yeah, Dad, I'll go. Whatever you want me to do. I know where Shechem is. Let's go. I'll go find them. And he's so happy because he wanted to see the brothers. They've been out there for a long time. So he goes out and he goes to Shechem, and he's just wandering around, meandering around. Couldn't find the brothers, and so he says, a man found him wandering around the field, and the man asked him, saying, "What are you seeking?" "I'm seeking my brothers. Tell me, where are they feeding their flocks?" Well, here this young man out all by himself. It's scary. It was scary. But you know what? Joseph was on purpose for his father. On purpose, with a happy heart, excited to see his brothers and to be used by his father to go out and tell those guys that his father was concerned about them, and he loved them, and he wanted to hear how things were going. That's quite a little story right there in itself. Sometimes our obedience, that obedience to the Father, just simply, and we may be naive, but you know what? Our Heavenly Father's not naive. He knows exactly. He's got a purpose and a plan, And we're going to find out about that plan. But what I want to point out to you today, Joseph, obedient son, someone that went out and he was on purpose seeking his brothers. I love being on purpose when the Father sends me out to tell people how much he loves and is concerned about them. Hey, man, 5 minutes went by fast. I'll see you tomorrow morning. We'll continue.